Hello, Brother Anderson. This is Chris Newland for the CIT260 final presentation. I hope you enjoy this presentation. All right. This is my CIT260 final presentation by Chris Newland. I'd like to begin by talking about static versus instance variables and methods. Static indicates that a variable or method belongs to a class rather than to any object created from that class. Static variables are created when the program starts and destroyed when the program stops. Here's an example from the code of some static objects for the raft, things that we don't want to change, so we make them static, so they're constant. Not only the objects, but the quantities for the various objects that are there. Instance variables are declared in a class, but outside a method, constructor, or any block. Instance variables are created when an object is created with the use of the keyword new and destroyed when the object is destroyed. A couple examples from the code. Display raft view. Display raft creates a new display raft view. And to the right are some instance variables created for gaining the rope and rope amount, etc., for the various parts of the raft. Moving on to arrays, array lists, and enums. An array is a container object that holds a fixed number of values of a single data type. The length of an array is established when the array is created. Each item in an array is called an element. Arrays are the choice to make when iterating a list of primitive data types. Here's an example in the program for calculating total items in the inventory control. And you see the array of the amounts in the curly braces. An array list is implemented as a class. You cannot use primitive values unless they are converted into an object first. Array lists are advantageous in that they are not fixed in length. Rather, they are flexible. I like flexibility. Here's an example, array lists for the raft items again, and a raft mounts. And they're iterated at the bottom in the for loop. Enums are a special type of class in Java, fixed in lengths. An enum must contain the same data type, which can be primitive values. Enum cannot be changed. A good example is 4 seasons, 7 days of the week. I guess you could do 24 hours a day, 3 different colored lights on a stoplight, red, yellow, and green, etc. Here's an enum list that we built for the not so lost group of items that we have in our pack or available to us to gather. For and for each loops. I think of loops, I think of Mario Kart, sorry. A for loop statement in Java allows you to iterate over a range of values in a concise manner. It can take advantage of indexes, often provided by lists or collections. So you might be able to jump around that index and start in the middle of the list, for example. Here's an example of a for loop that we use to calculate the raft item list and iterate through the list. Actually, for each loop statement in Java iterates forward in single steps from the beginning of the collection to the end. It does not keep track of an index, so you can't just jump around. You have to start from the beginning and run through the end. Its construct is often cleaner and can be declutter the code. Sometimes that can save error problems. It is not usable for loops where you need to replace elements in a list or an array. Here's an example that we used, and the inventory, building the inventory list. As it went through and built that, you can read that as for each inventory item in inventory, do blah, blah, blah. Exception handling, throw, try, and catch. Throw example in the code for the adding raft items throws raft control exception in the game. If an error is created rather than breaking the code and halting the game, it will prompt the user. In this example, the user has added too much rope, so it says, you've added more than what is needed of the 40 feet of rope. In the catch, we see that demonstrated in the try-catch example associated with the raft items. When they try to add, raft control exception is invoked, and it states you have added more than what is needed of the 40 feet of rope. Byte and character streams. Byte streams are most basic and process data byte by byte in 8 bits. It is useful for processing raw data like binary files and was originally created to benefit Western languages back in the days of ASCII. Character streams are convenient for processing character input and output on the 16-bit level. It makes Java more international, implementing Unicode characters. It is useful for processing text files character by character, which is not possible in a byte stream. Here's some example of the output code on the raft status, displaying raft items. The output was saved to a raft report file called raft.txt, successfully saved. The output was searched on the computer using the Finder. The file located raft.txt, and the display below shows the display in the screen under Finder. All right, time for a little game demo. It's a new player. We're going to put Anderson is playing. Whether Anderson would like to start a new game. I'd like to check out the inventory menu, see food items, tools, etc. Build tools menu. Working on the raft can be fun. Say we want to view raft items. Nothing really there. Let's add something to it. Ah, we just added 16 items to it. Nice. Let's say we want to calculate how much pack weight we have. Quantity and weight. We're going to add 2 items, and they weigh 10 pounds each. We just added 20 pounds to our pack. Viewing the inventory. So a list of inventory items that we have. We want to look at our raft status. And let's see if we want to display raft items. There they are. But if we check out our health menu. We're going to display our current energy. Our character only has 1 unit, so we may want to rest. So let's do that. I'm going to rest for 3 hours. And it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so we'll put that in there. We just gained 10 energy units, so that's awesome. Our character can do some more things. Let's say we want to move to a location. We want to move our player south. No, we changed our mind. I want to go back north, back to where we were, and north again. Oops, we can't do that because we're going to exit the bounds of the map. So we want to maybe sit down and figure out what we're going to do next. We want to display our map. You could see, oh, okay, we're probably up here in this quadrant, and that's why we were exiting the bounds of the map. So, lots to do on this map. The game is fun. It was great fun building it. I appreciate all the support and the tutoring and the endless hours that you put in this class. I learned a lot, and I know I have a tremendous amount more to learn. So I want to thank you, Brother Anderson, for everything. And I'm going to stop screen sharing and sign out. Thanks again.